Welcome back to Titty City, famous for pies, for banana cream pies. Why? What did you think we were famous for? It's the pies. This time, I'm gonna do a little decorating. I hope I'm gonna do a little mining, and I'm gonna try to get some work done on the tree dome. It's the 4th of July, and I'm not out partying because this is. I wouldn't say I don't have a life, but you're looking at it. My life is in VR. That's not sad. Shut up. You're sad. What do I have? I think I'll. No, I need more glass. Shit. Shit. And I'm almost out of. Okay. Well, then I need shovels. Then I need. I don't necessarily have to go to land. If, in fact, this is a good opportunity to start working on that. Digging away that shitty landmass that's in the way of building the dome. I think I'm gonna do that. Eat some more delicious dried kelp. Everybody's favorite low-calorie snack. I see people eating dried kelp all the time. Okay, so I basically have to fucking demolish this entire hill. And then in turn, besides horribly disfiguring the seafloor and disrupting the marine environment, I'll also get building materials out of it, which I have to swim to the surface for, unfortunately. Wow, I'm fucking deep as shit. That feels good. Feels good to be so deep. That was a sexual joke. Did you get it? It's fucking deep as shit, though. It's really cool. I just wish there was more deep sea land and it wasn't just, like, interrupted by these geographical features that I have to then destroy. Like, it's been a long time since I've had to demolish seafloor features in order to build. It used to just be that there were these vast expanses of deep sea land that were perfect for my purposes. I don't know what they changed about. Maybe it's just this particular world seed. I'm going to be optimistic and say that's it. Ow. That was a poor experience. I give it 1 star. Let me kill these fuckers. And I can just kill them. There's no social justice warriors in this world, so I don't have to give them my tax money and live next door to them. I can just hit them with a sword when they're causing trouble. That's one of the great things about living in Minecraft. Wouldn't call it living necessarily, but it's something. And the problem is, underneath the sand, it's just a shitload of cobblestone. And why that's a problem is that mining underwater is even slower than digging underwater. Why does sand float? Why does sand float? This does not fly. They need to alter the behaviors of materials so that wood and other buoyant materials like wool float, but sand does not. This is cool. I can actually get useful work done outside the habitat underwater because I have the habitat to recharge my air and to eat and to craft. This is the whole purpose of it. It's actually serving the practical purpose that an underwater habitat is supposed to serve, which is to facilitate underwater work in a fixed location. Someone out there is shouting, "Nerd!" and they're not wrong. That's the thing, they're not wrong. I wonder how dried kelp actually tastes. That's basically what nori is, isn't it? And this is ugly, so I'm going to want to fill this in too with sand. I'm going to want to save some of that sand so that I don't have huge patches of exposed stone and dirt on the seafloor. In fact, I'm almost tempted to build an air shelter because it's just barely far enough away from the habitat to be a bother to keep swimming to and from it. I have to get in this tiny ass door as well. I wish there was scuba gear in this game. I wish it wasn't fantasy themed. I wish it was just old-timey survival themed and you could build a scuba tank and use a coal-powered compressor to fill it. That's right, I can turbo swim. Why don't I do that? Digging isn't so bad. It's just pretty bad. So if you've never seen 70s Sesame Street, you should go watch that on YouTube. That's a trip. Everybody was wearing bell bottoms. Even the white guys had afros. They did more actual educational shit. Instead of like numbers and colors, they were doing stuff about like future technologies and how to be a good citizen and shit. Which really should be brought back. If you're into the government telling you how to live. Whoa, look at all this fucking shit up here. Where's my boat? Oh, there it is. I kind of like the buoyancy carrying this stuff up out of my way, but I do not like it applying to different materials equally. Different materials should have different buoyancies. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this? Also, the current habitat shape is pretty historically accurate because all the actual underwater labs in history have basically just been long, ugly tubes. Because tubes are very pressure resistant as a shape. As long as they're capped with hemispheres. So before I made my big move, I was like, I'm going to buy an electric motorcycle. I was so excited. I had all the money put together, but then, you know, moving and taxes destroyed all of that money. It was a mistake to pay taxes. Because once you start paying taxes, you're on their radar. But if you never start, you never make a lot of money, then they won't even notice you. They'll only go after the big fish. That's what I hear. Everything I read tells me the same thing about that. So basically, it was a mistake to ever start paying taxes. But I felt like I'd be a hypocrite to be in favor of stuff like basic income and housing first if I didn't pay into taxes. All that libertarian stuff about taxes being theft starts to sound really tempting. But then you remember that basically people who want to not pay taxes are parasites on society. A libertarian is just a wealthy parasite. You can be wealthy and still be a parasite. In fact, it makes it much easier. Imagine trying to do this from the surface. Imagine if I had to swim between the surface and the seafloor every time I wanted to destroy. Like, I'd be able to destroy a single block at a time before having to swim back up. This is sort of how underwater habitats enhance productivity in the real world. Although in the real world, it's more due to evading the need for decompression until you're done and want to come back to the surface, or evading the need to do all your work with bounce diving, which is extraordinarily inefficient. Also, can we talk about how thankful I am that VR was standardized at 90 frames a second? Because my main issue with a lot of games in the past was the frame rate. About how developers felt like they could get away with really low frame rates. Why has 30 FPS been the standard for consoles for so long? It's ugly. It's horrible to look at. 60 FPS was like commonplace on Dreamcast even. So it should have been the standard from Dreamcast and onward. I don't mean to sound like a fucking elitist or anything. It's about graphics that don't feel like Satan fucking your eyes. Look at how much fucking labor went into just simply having a place to exist down here and carry out the basic functions of life, like sleep, smelting, storage, workbench. That's been like the last fucking 10 episodes just to get to the point where I can exist at the bottom of the sea. It's not easy. And it's sort of soul crushing that the more you play the game like this, the more you realize why there will probably never be underwater cities. And I want there to be. That's the coolest shit. That's why I do all this. But it just drives home how hard it is to live underwater and how there are reasons to do it in this game. But in real life there's very few reasons to do it that actually generate enough profit that you can get investors to pay you to build an underwater structure. I've been over this in the past. I'm not going to go over it again, but basically it's not in detail. It's just tourism, mining, and aquaculture. Mariculture, I guess, is the technical term when you're doing aquaculture in the ocean. That's not a lot. There's not really enough. That's enough economic justification for a couple of companies to have like a couple of habitats. The problem is that they do enhance productivity to the point where you could have one habitat for a large amount of crops. Well, crops being fish for mariculture. You don't really need cities. Nobody really needs an underwater city for anything. Nobody mourns that more than I do, but I'm also a realist. Then you start to think about the logistics, because on land, living space isn't free, but it's also not as expensive by far. Every little tiny room underwater costs tens of thousands of dollars. That was weird. The game does not handle half slabs underwater properly yet. Not entirely. What does my watch say? It says nighttime. I appreciate having the daylight so I can see something above me other than blackness. It's a weird, lonely feeling working at the bottom of the sea at night as well. Everything's too dark. Wish I had an aqua enchantment for my pick so I could mine faster. Can you imagine if this dude's job really did involve almost drowning himself all the time? What's up, dolphin bros? Why don't you kill some of those zombies for me? That should be a thing. I should be able to tame zombies, tame the dolphins. And they should act like golems in that they would kill the hostile mobs. Maybe if I give them fish. I haven't tried that. If I had fish, I could feed them to the dolphins, and maybe the dolphins would help me. Come here, fish. I need your bodies for food. I like how bones come out. Whoa, whoa, fish give you bones now? That's really handy. Some of them give you rotten meat, apparently. I think that was a zombie, though. Fish are a source of bones, and you can use bones for bone meal, which you can use for farming. That's handy. That's really handy. It used to be the only source of bones was skelemans. I really want to be able to farm fish in this game. Can I do that? Do they reproduce? Do they reproduce like other animals in the game? Could I make like netted enclosures out of fencing units? What the fuck is happening? Oh, it's because I'm in the prone position. I'm swimming now. Instead of just kind of waiting haphazardly. Here we go. How much fish do I have? Can I give it to them raw? Giggity. Come here, dolphin bros. Where are you? Here you go. Come here. Come here. I want to feed you. Why are you afraid of me? My dick's not even out yet. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. I'm trying to train dolphins to fight you. I should be using my trident. That kills them in 3 hits. Why do I even have a sword? I'm the Lord of the Sea. I can get rid of that entirely. Alright, dolphin, come here. No, he can't. He won't take the fish. Okay, what if I cook it? Maybe they only want to eat cooked fish. That doesn't make sense. Dolphins like raw fish. I'm willing to try it though. I'm willing to try anything. Apparently, I can't stack the same kind of fish. I'm gonna go get more fish so I don't waste coal. Oh, I can spearfish now. How come the fish are only in the shallow layers of the sea? There should be deep sea fish as well. This whole buoyancy thing is going to make it hard to hunt underwater. Because everything you kill is just going to fly to the surface. I'm really getting shades of Subnautica from this. You want this? Want this fish, bro? Fucking eat it. Eat it. Eat this shit. You too good for fish? You too good for your food? What if I put it in your blowhole? No. Oh, he wasn't feeling that. I don't blame him. Oh, yeah, another zombie. It had been a full 3 minutes. I was starting to worry. Could you, there we go. Yeah, that kills them a little bit faster, which I'm in favor of. So long as they die. 7, 8. Yeah, I can use 1 coal on that. I would organize, but I don't have enough shit yet. Where'd I put the coal? Here. Cooking fish under the sea. No fish for you, more fish for me. Then I'll turn this water into pea. Cooking fish under the sea. Let's see. I'm gonna wear these out really fucking fast doing this. I don't see what choice I have though. It's in the way. And it really happens to protrude in a really inconvenient spot. Like, I would build around it, except that I happen to build my module. If I had built it a little more in this direction, then it would line up perfectly to where there would be space in that little area of the lagoon, which is what I'm in for the dome, but I didn't. And if I build another module and hallway in that direction, it'll be too far. So this is ugly looking, no contest. But I kind of have to. I don't see an alternative. Cooked fish. Awesome. I should have a chest just for fish. Do you know what I realized the other day? That I'm overly boobs motivated, which I don't think is uncommon for men. Like, what do I want a nice car for? Why did, you know, well, I have one, but why did I buy it? Boobs. Access to boobs. Why did men invent music? Why did men invent math? In both cases, boobs. You have to impress the woman the boobs are attached to in order to get access to them. Usually. Otherwise it's a serious crime. You can always just be a movie producer, and then that's another way to do it, but... Edgy joke. Edgier than a pentagonal dodecahedron. So yeah, it breaks my heart that I'll never live in one of these, in an actual underwater city. Because that was one of the things that defined the future for me. I think I just mostly because of I don't know, I think it was Horizons was the ride at Epcot, had underwater cities in it, and that I kind of took as gospel. I took that as interpreted that as a promise of shit that would certainly exist in the future. Don't show that shit to children; you're gonna disappoint them for life. But then they'll be really motivated at the same time. Maybe that was the plan. Also, the other thing was I had these books with like Sid Mead illustrations about what the future would be like. Come back, Dolphin Bros. Eat this. They don't want to eat my fish. What good are they? They really need to make it so you can tame dolphins, because I need protection from these fucking underwater zombies. It should make it so they hang out close to you, close by. Not like right up on your grill, but like close by. And that they should attack any underwater zombies that they see. Right? I don't feel like I'm wrong about this. I don't think it's unreasonable. This is slow as shit. I wish I had some dynamite. The thing about dynamite is you have to enclose it when it's underwater. If water's touching it on any side, it won't cause any damage. Underwater blasting is dicey though, because it used to be, because it was hard to get away in time, which is actually a real life hazard of the early Navy frogmen, which is what they called the divers at the time. I think they still do. This would go so much fucking faster on the surface. On the surface world, the parasite expects you to give him your bread for free. Yeah, you get the impression reading actual objectivist literature that to them the worst evil in the world is if somebody was to ask them for money for the bus or something. They would not like it in Portland. Portland is like 60% homeless teenagers with guitars who thought it would be cool to live here because they thought that they wouldn't need any money. And that's partially true. We have a lot of scroungers here. Which is weird because Portland gets cold as shit during the winter, and usually the homeless go places where they won't die during the winter months. It's now nighttime. You can see it's a bit darker. It's not too bad. It should actually be much darker than this, realistically. I feel like it used to be. I feel like it used to be really dark underwater. And one of the things they improved with the Aquatic update was underwater visibility. It used to be you needed an enchanted... Like, what part of the aquatic enchantment of a helmet was that it would give you better sight underwater. I guess this is better. A lot of this stuff is better for me, but a lot of it's also worse. No. That was close. I did not like that. You cannot touch my penis. You have to pay me in Hot Wheels. Yeah, that's the second time that's happened. I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, yes, I do. That's balls. That looks really janky. This is not sitting quite right on my face. Let's see. Is this enough space? I feel like this is enough space for a small tree dome. I think I don't want to build an especially large tree dome here anyways. I think I'm going to save that for a third sea base because I miscalculated in building here. It's just not that large. So after I complete this one and I'm satisfied with it, which, you know, I'm never satisfied with anything, but when I'm close to satisfied with it, I think I'm going to move on and look for a larger deep sea biome. And if there isn't one, I may have to start a new map, frankly, just to find a seed that will give me large enough oceans. I think I can use the seeds for older versions of the game with this one. I just need to find a seed that will give me very numerous large deep sea biomes. That's what I should have done in the first place. I really did not plan this series well. I never plan anything. It makes more life more exciting and also dangerous and infuriating. And sexy. No, never sexy. Contrary to popular opinion, not planning is not sexy. It results in bad times for everyone all around. Look at how fucking drippy this place is. This place is drippy. This is like a cheap New York apartment, which is almost mythical. You'd have to be in like the most rat-infested basement for New York rent to be cheap. Living in a big city is kind of an awful experience too. I don't know why people pay so much in order to do it. Maybe I'm just an uncultured plebeian, but I don't think so. Am I out of touch? No, it's the kids that are wrong. It's a spicy meme for those of you who are not level 80 meme lords. It's been really rewarding to see steamed hams become a meme. Because that was like the funniest scene in The Simpsons for me for a long time, and now it's everywhere. Simpsons was legendary when Conan was writing for it. Which is weird because I don't find... I guess I find his late night stuff funny. Not anywhere near as... I think it was the magic that resulted in him... from him working with the other writers on The Simpsons. I think when he had other... not less funny, but still funny people to bounce ideas off of and take their insights into account. I think he really did better as opposed to having total creative control over something. And my timer ran out, but I'm going to continue playing until I have this landscaping done because I've done fuck all this episode. I wasn't even going to record this one today, but I actually felt like playing more Minecraft. I felt up to it. I actually wanted to put these goggles on and work on the space more. I didn't want to feel limited by the fact that I do this for money. That would be kind of stupid and counterintuitive. If getting paid to do it meant I wanted to do it less. And that's a reality of it, but I don't want it to be. That's kind of also a devil in the details. Your metabolic needs increase when you work underwater because it consumes more calories. So you have to eat more, which means you need more food than you ever did before. That's a problem on Aquarius Reef Base. They have to stock all this high-protein food because you burn a shitload of calories swimming all day, which is what they're down there to do. That still surprises some people. They're like, wait a minute, what do you mean a real underwater base? That doesn't exist except for in TV shows and movies. I'm like, no, we have one of those. Would you not? And the thing is, if he were to swim in front of my pickaxe, he would get mad at me like I did it on purpose or something. The fucking dumbass dolphin. I hope you fucking get caught in a tuna net, you son of a bitch. Is that enough? Is it ever enough? And it's gonna look ugly as shit. I'm still gonna want to dig that sand away. Anyways, let's get a good look at that. That's the work I've done so far. I still need to push it back a little further than that, I think, in order to get started on the dome. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good. I think having a nice, modest little sea base down here won't be so bad. It's good practice. I really want to get into building huge colonies again. I'm going to look into what it will take to generate a map with those kinds of huge deep sea biomes, though, because I'm just not finding them on this one. I may have to basically start this all over, but in which case I think I would skip all the early game stuff and just go straight to where I have the first deep sea pod established. So stay tuned for that. Everything up until now has been pointless and a waste of your time and mine.